The Boundary Park Alert System is sponsored by Pendle New Tech, a family-run Lancashire business you can rely on for everything fire safety related, including supply and installation, maintenance, testing, certification, alarms, risk assessments, like I said, anything fire safety related. But what do I know? Visit pendlenewtech.com and they'll sort you right out. Check the show notes for more information. This is a test of the Boundary Park Alert System. Hello and welcome to the Boundary Park Alert System with me, Matt Dean. I'm joined as usual by Andy Halliwell. Good morning, Andy.
Good morning, Matthew.
How was your trip up to North London yesterday?
Yeah, I was just chatting with our fan guest there as you were setting up the record. I actually really enjoyed the day out yesterday. Perversely, when you've got kids, a 12:30 kickoff is actually quite suitable because they're up at the crack of dawn anyway. So you can get to the ground early, and then you can sort of enjoy the pub afterwards while it's still light. Even so, in the winter, I quite enjoyed the kickoff time, and the day out itself was pretty enjoyable. I didn't come away particularly upset by the fact that we got beat with a very late goal, which I'm sure we can come to talk about shortly.
We will, but because the game was in North London, I believe the fan guest was most likely to have been there. So we'll do the intro. It's not a debutante, it's a returning fan guest. So do you think, Andy?
Yeah, returning fan guest. Can you tell us when your first game was, fan guest?
I would have been a babe in arms. I was taken when I was very, very young by my mum and dad. Me and my sister would go along with them, like swathed in blankets. The first game I remember was Latics against Newcastle in 1981, I believe, and Latics won 1-0.
Very good.
And I don't know who scored, but you know what? Do you know a bloke called Keith Gledhill? Have you ever heard of him?
Yeah. I know Keith.
I mean, he's an absolutely amazing guy, and his knowledge of Latics history is astonishing. And I told him that. I said the first game I remember was that game, and he just went like that with the scorer. And I still can't remember who scored. I think it might have been Roger Wilde or something.
Well, Keith, if you're listening, get yourself on and have a crack at Latics Mine. It sounds like you might have a chance.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. No, he'll clean up. He'll clean up.
Yeah. Who was your first favourite player, fan guest?
I had a teddy bear called Roger Wilde. So, yeah, I'm going to go for Roger Wilde.
Mm-hmm. What is your favourite ever away game? Wembley can't be included.
I'm going to say... I've got a fondness for both Forest, for different reasons, both Forest away in the FA Cup and Fulham away. I'm going to go Forest.
But even though you had all those games from 1981 prior to that point to choose from, you still
absolutely
went with them.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I've got. There's obvious recency bias in that, but it was just the spirit of the crowd. I think of our following that day at Forest. We went in 1-0 down, didn't show up at all in the first half, and we had no right to expect what happened. But everybody got on board instantly with it, and it was just electric.
The atmosphere was brilliant that day, wasn't it? It never stopped.
Yeah.
Like all the way through. Fantastic, yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, nobody sat down all afternoon.
Yeah, and can you give us a little known fact about yourself? Maybe a different one if you've done this before.
I can't remember what I said last time. See, I'm not one. I don't have any secrets from anyone.
It's an open
just
book.
All out there.
Yeah, make one up. Make one up.
But
we'll edit that bit out, and then people won't know.
I once went on a grinder date with Hugh Grant.
Boundary Park Alert System exclusive.
And the next week, I went on a Tinder date with Liz Hurley.
Ah, just the dirt. Right, who are you? Who are you?
My name's Will Holdaway, and I'm the president of Oasis, and I also write a little bit about Oldham in the Oldham Reporter.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
In the wake of Latic's first defeat in 7 games yesterday at the Hive, Barnet, you two were both there. Andy, you were very easy to spot with your white cap in the crowd. So you celebrated with the boys after the first goal. I didn't spot you, Will, but you were there.
No, I was up in the. I was up in the top corner, dressed in black, shrouded by. I had
security.
my coat zipped up to my nose and my hat like just over the eyelids. So, yeah, it was a fantastic game yesterday. I thought we were absolutely brilliant, and we lost. It's just unbelievable what happened. Nobody, I like Andy. I'm not unhappy about yesterday in any way, shape, or form. But it's just, I mean, it is a killer. I mean, the luck that we had yesterday was just no good. But nobody likes talking about luck in football. But I think we were desperately unfortunate.
I think the flip side to that is that Barnet were incredibly fortunate, weren't they? I think as well.
Yes, they were. I mean, they will be absolutely cock a hoop with that.
Yeah,
absolutely cock a hoop because they played. I thought, weirdly enough, I thought they had the best of the game when they went down to 10 men. They managed that situation really, really well, and Latics didn't. Latics had. They were disrupted by that point by substitutions, and none of the substitutes really offered anything better than what they was than the players who went off. And we were out of puff then, I think, when they went down to 10, and they managed the game extremely well, keeping the ball very neat and tidy, moving it up to our end. Obviously, with the time wasting, who wouldn't waste time in their situation? And then they got a crafty goal, not a crafty goal, a really unbelievably lucky goal.
It was lucky, but it was all. I mean, I think like for large periods of the game, especially in the first half, how we went in 1 goal behind, I've no idea. So, well, what I do know, it was because Pet did a stupid handball in the penalty box to give away a penalty. And I think yesterday there's a number of things at play yesterday. I think we did play well in parts yesterday. I thought that in the first half we were the better team. We don't know we went 2-1 behind, but for the obvious, reason, give away a free kick, soft defending again, like it was a soft goal, weren't picking up, weren't switched on in the box. The penalty was unforgivable. Pet's got to put his chest there, he's got to put his head there. You can't just nonchalantly do that with your arm. It's stupid. But
what a brain fart moment from someone who's normally just so steady. It was
crazy. So that was
he's so steady. Like you can see that he's one of the, the more psychologically balanced football players out there, and he it beggars belief what he did. It really does.
But I think, and then at half time you were like, how were we losing this game? It wasn't on the cards from the way we performed. I think it did take the sending off though for us to get back into the game, and we weren't at it. But good goal from Stevens. But then I was really disappointed by. You'd say about Barnet controlling the game, but I was really disappointed by the way that we let them back into the game. Like, we can chat about. We'll have a listen to Mickey in a minute because we didn't listen to him last week. We'll get stuck in with that, and then we can chat about it in a bit more detail. But I was disappointed because we played right into their hands once that we'd equalised when we should have been, pushing them back and not letting them play and stretching them and getting out wide and using the 10 men the extra man to our advantage. It was, I was disappointed in that, but at the same time, coming back to what you said, Andy, before and what you said, Will, it was a really entertaining game of football, and it was one of those games where it was back and forth and you didn't know what was happening, and You know,
Yep.
so I enjoyed the game. I'm disappointed with the result. I think there were individual mistakes that have cost us, but I think collectively as a team, we let ourselves down a bit towards the end of the game. I think we definitely shouldn't have lost the game. But I'm not going to start picking on me. YouTube, feel free. You're welcome to pick on anyone you want for the sake of conversation. But you know, there were people being blamed yesterday for things. But you win as a team and you lose as a team for me, don't you? So
yes, I agree with that totally, and I don't think you know, individual errors are one thing, but it is like it's the whole team loses. And you don't. I really wouldn't dig anyone out from yesterday. Yes, people make errors. Everybody makes errors. But it was disappointing not to get anything from it, and we really should have won it.
Yeah, 100%.
But
let's have a listen to Mickey, and then we'll reconvene with our own views on what he has to say and a bit more on our take of the game yesterday.
Mickey, such a frustrating outcome. How would you sum up that afternoon?
First, I want to thank supporters for coming away down, and I really mean that. I'm not just saying that. Coming away down here and getting down here at this time, we appreciate that. Us, I think that's. You can get frustrated with football, and that's one of the days where you really come away and you think, I think I'm trying to be honest, and nothing that I say now is going to make anybody feel any better. I'm just talking about a performance, and I think had we taken 4 chances, stonewall chances in the first half, I don't think that would have flattered us. I think we were that much on top that it wouldn't have flattered us. We wouldn't have been surprised because they were that good of chances. But that has maybe been the tale too much of why we're sort of not up and among the front runners, because I think you can go back over a lot of times that's happened, but today it happened an awful lot. They had 4 shots in goal the whole game, and I think in terms of performance, I think it was as good as we've probably played, but it's hard at the minute to stand here and think what joy you get out of that, because it is such a sore one when you have done everything and done everything you need to do. I mean, the penalty that we get away is just ridiculous. I don't know. I'm standing here and trying to be honest and kind of constructive. I don't really know much more what we could have done, apart from, again, be clinical. Be clinical, and that's probably the difference between the teams at the top end of this league and the ones that are kind of having little runs like we do, and then we find ourselves with a performance like today, and we don't go and slit the throat, go for the jugular. Go and seal the deal. And that's the difference between the teams that are going to be contesting away at this division and not. You have to, when you get the opportunities like today, when you're so on top, you've got to go and seal the deal. Positives to take out of it, I don't know, we battered them. We've been here many times against them and they finished 30 points or whatever above us last. If they keep telling me about that, we absolutely battered them at everything. At everything. A lot of refereeing decisions that probably went against us, and you're miffed, but I wasn't surprised at that when I seen the referee. But it's a sore one. But we'll come away from it and comb over it like professionals need to do, and see if there was anything much that we maybe wanted to do at certain times in the games. But I don't expect to come away and find an awful lot from our away performance that's probably been as good as what we've played for a long time. But it's a tough one to take, and nothing that I can say can take away the frustration and the pain that we're all feeling at the minute. But we will take our medicine this evening. We will get ourselves ready, and like everybody in football's got to do, you've got to go again on Monday and bat it off as quickly as you can. And another game on Tuesday.
You mentioned obviously the chances we had, missed chances at one end. Was it maybe individual errors at the other end that have proven costly in that respect?
I'm thinking first one. What was the first one's a free kick. Set play can always do better. We're massive. The second one, it isn't a foul in the middle of the pitch. The lads, I'm not saying it in the cheats. I'm not going to say that, but you got an unbelievable amount of free kicks that probably weren't, and he got another one there, and the guys hit it, and inexplicably, we decide that we want to try and save the ball. Crazy. And find myself 2-1 down, and I honestly, I've been in that position myself. I've been in football a long time, and you kind of go, I can't believe we're 2-1 up from the dominance of the team we're playing against, but we'll take it. And it was one of their moments. But we still had enough opportunities to seal the deal and didn't do it. So probably the fault lies in there, that when you get the opportunities, you've got to be ruthless and you've got to go and take your opportunities. So that's what we weren't good enough at today.
As you mentioned, nothing's going to change the outcome, but you've touched on positives. Was one of those positives the return of Jack Stevens?
Yeah, it's a great goal, and I think he played well all afternoon. Just fitness that's holding Jack back now, which you'll only get from training and playing in games and knocking them out. So a really positive performance from him.
Yeah, right, Mickey Mellon there. Andy, what do you make of Mickey's assessment of the game? Is it similar to your own?
Well, let me just read this tweet out that I saw. It was actually from a Barnet fan in response to something on the Twitter from the official account. It said, "That first half was the best I've seen you play against us. You've beaten us several times in recent years, not playing that well. I've also no idea why you became so cautious and negative after the equaliser. We were there to be beaten." Now, when Mickey says there were loads of great clear-cut chances, I'm not entirely convinced. We played well in the first half. First half hour, we were the better side by a stretch. There was only really the only real chance I can think of where you thought it was a good chance to score was the one that Drummond hit and their keeper got down to it well to his left. Outside of that, they were really half chances. And then he had that sort of scramble. I think it was Month on the spin in the second half. There weren't that many absolute clear-cut chances. So I'm not entirely convinced that I agree that we could have scored a hatful. We could have gone in 2-0 up in the first half. So I don't entirely agree with that. I think, like I said, I came away relatively okay with the day out. I was disappointed we got beat, but I think the point that you were making earlier is that when they were down to 10 men after Stevens had scored, there was a period where we could really put pressure on, and that tweet from that Barnet fan I agree with. We kind of took our foot off the gas, and it was probably due to the slight tweaks and changes in personnel that Mickey made that made us come off sort of fourth or fifth gear. Was I thought that Kane Drummond had a really good game yesterday. I really enjoyed his performance. Actually, he retained the ball quite well when he had his back to goal, and he laid it off.
His strength's improved, Andy, hasn't it? You can tell he's a bit stronger, isn't he? He's been working on it. It's not as easy to knock off the ball anymore.
Correct, and so I thought I genuinely thought he had a really good game down the middle, and so when he changed it, and I understand that Mickey was changing it for fresh legs, and after Mike Fondop's cameo last week as an impact sub, I've got absolutely no problem with the idea of bringing Mike Fondop on for the last sort of 20 minutes to try and inject a bit of energy into the game. I don't think that was a bad idea. But I'd have probably left Drummond down the middle with him. And so when he put Drummond out wide and then took Drummond off for Hawks, we lost a bit of impetus. I
think we won. The penalty was won when Drummond was out on the right-hand side, though, wasn't it? I think.
He was down the middle for most of it.
Yeah, no, he was down the middle when he got fouled, but I think he'd been playing out on the right when we got the penalty decision. And I thought that we weren't really. I didn't fancy us to score at that point. I thought, we needed the look of that foul. I thought. Was it a straight red for everyone in there? We were all shouting off. I don't know. As you would, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, if that was the other way around, I'd have been probably a bit miffed it wasn't a yellow because he was on the halfway line.
He was definitely the last man, but whether the keeper could have cleared it, whether it was a clear goal.
The keeper was outside his box already, so I think the keeper should count as a clearing defender there. or
But, yeah,
a backing defender.
You'll take it, won't you?
100%, yeah.
But
And we
obviously,
needed it, I think.
when we had the spare man, my eldest lad is really getting into it now. He's like, he participates in the whole affair. He knows all the songs. He gets stuck in, and so I'm talking to him. He's asking questions, and I'm saying, "Well, we've got the extra man now." It's the first time I think he's ever seen anyone sent off. So as we've got the extra man now, we'll have a spare man to pass to, and then for the next probably 10 minutes, we did. We were in control of the game.
Yeah,
but I think once we took that injection of pace out in the middle that Drummond had, and he was playing very wide right, we lost a bit of impetus. And I guess there were a few players that were gassed. Stevens, naturally, because he's just coming back from injury. He drifted in and out of the game yesterday, Stevens. There were parts of the game where he was anonymous, and then parts of the game where he looked really, really dangerous. But I really like him. I think he's going to be a good signing. And it feels like a new signing, doesn't it? It was a cracking finish, wasn't it? Lovely finish,
very
came in,
finish,
took it, lot of confidence.
But the goal, Andy, just on that, because, based on what you were just saying as well, was that Garner played it out to him. He was in acres of space. At that point, their defence were all over the place because they'd lost a man. They were playing really all drifted over to the middle and the left of the pitch and just left a big space for Stevens to run into. So we had them rattled, and after that. Up to that point, and after the man sent off, and we didn't utilise that then. We didn't create the extra space on the pitch. And the blunt question, was it the substitutions that made us more negative? Was it the fact that I think personally, my personal opinion, I want to know what you think. I think it was the players. I don't think it was the manager. I don't think he changed the system or anything to sit back. I think it was just that the players that came on didn't, live up to the players that had gone off before them. And I think it was. I don't think the manager set the team up to defend at that point. I think the players naturally did it and lost their shape, lost their organisation, lost their focus, especially for that goal at the end. It's poor defending. Shouldn't have let him get the ball in so easily. So, what do you think? Was it the players whose mindset changed, or was it the substitutions that changed the players' mindset? Because that's obviously the debate.
I think it was. I think when Mickey Mellon, as we know he will, has a good look in the mirror, he will think, I could have been a bit less radical with all the substitutions. I could have just kept it steady as is and waited. And I think he was a little bit impatient with the substitutions. Moving Drummond out wide, I think that happened when Pet goes off, Fondop comes on, attacking substitution. No problem with that at all. But we moved Drummond out wide at that point, and I think Barnet were delighted to see him go out there.
Me too, Will. I honestly, his pace was frightening them through the middle, and they were worried about that, and we could easily break ball over the top. And like I said, he was having a really good game. He was retaining the football. He was linking play well. He was doing a lot, and because of his age, because he's the one of the younger players that we have in a forward attacking position, I didn't think he was completely goosed. I thought he had a little bit left in the tank,
not.
And so I'd have kept him on for. In down the middle for as much of the game as was humanly possible. And I just think that, like you said, it was an attacking substitution, but what it made happen is it made him put Fondop and Garner in the middle. And I think Garner was probably done by that point. So what he probably should have done, what he probably what he probably should have done is taken Garner off, put Fondop on, and let Fondop play alongside Drummond. So you'd have had Fondop's energy and winning. And Fondop's great in the air. He'll win you lots of headers. He won lots of headers when he came on. And then the pace of Drummond off him, and then putting him out wide, just putting him in a position where he wasn't able to affect the game as much. So probably that was a mistake. But even then, at that point, when it was 2-2, I'd have been happy with a point away from home at Barnet. You wouldn't have been disappointed with. And it's just an absolute fluke. When what's the winger? What's their winger? Is it Glover? Their winger?
Glover,
he
scored. Well, he's a centre mid. Glover.
Well, he was all over the show.
He just found himself out there.
I thought he was their best player.
Yes.
I mean, he's horrible little shit, really, wasn't he? He was sort of diving all over the show. And
he is their best player, though. I think.
Yeah.
They've got a few standouts, but he's
Idris Kanu is their best player, but he didn't have a great game yesterday.
Yeah, I thought Glover
disappointed with him.
I thought Glover had a good game, but that was an absolute freak, because there was no way from the position he was in, he was aiming at the goal. And so you can't really blame Hudson for that. It was a rocket that went over him, hit the post, came back, and they were just very fortunate that it fell nicely to Shimanga. I mean, Shimanga, it irritates me. He scored at Crawley the other week, didn't he? And
he did.
And I've been saying to people in the week, they go, Barnet have signed Shimanga, and I'm like, he's finished. He's not what he was when he was at Chesterfield.
Somebody on Twitter said he's fat and slow.
He's nowhere near as good as he was when he was at Chesterfield for that season that made Peterborough sign him. He's definitely over the hill now, but obviously he's got a little bit of class in front of goal, but it's very, very lucky. But that first goal that they scored, you could probably say that Hudson possibly could have done better with the parry. I didn't think he did brilliant with that parry, but someone's pointing out to me that the ball in the box, Garner misses his man, and it was just a really
and pretty much everybody was in the box, and they didn't, none of them dealt with it. So it's not. Yeah, you can start blaming individual players for things. Oh, I've muted the wrong one. I wanted to mute Will, and I muted Andy instead because of the dog. It's not Will barking; it's the dog. But I think there was a couple. Players were just a bit flat-footed, I think, for both the goals. I think, Robson didn't get out quick enough to Glover for the second goal. He's got to be trying to stop that cross from getting in, not giving him so much time and space. So you can pick and choose like where your sort of individual errors are. I think as a collective, though, I think we didn't apply the pressure, and I think it's an easy one to just say, the manager's changes have made it go like that. I mean, I think there's plenty of fresh legs on the pitch. Like, we should have been pressing Barnet back for the whole of that last 20 minutes, and we just didn't. And no matter which personnel are on the pitch, and you could see it happening. You could see Barnet growing back into the game from about 78th, 79th minute. They started getting back into the game and controlling the ball, and we just let them. And we undid everything. Everything that was good about the first half performance was the press high up the pitch. We played 4-4-2, didn't we? And we were like high up the pitch, and we didn't let them settle at all. And when they had 10 men, we just gave them the time to grow and to take the sting out of it. And then, like you said, Andy, they got lucky in the end. So it was disappointing, but I think you've got your usual tweets from certain accounts who are not fans of Mellon, and is he still here or has he gone yet, and that kind of thing. Like one win in 7, one defeat in 7, and I said on the phone on Thursday, I mean, I'd rather get beat at Barnet and beat Barrow on Tuesday than draw both games anyway. So, I mean, obviously it's work to be done, but it's a big game. It's disappointing to lose ground on Barnet, I think, in the table. But when you look at it from the bigger picture, I think it's safe to say that we've gained a lot of ground on Barnet, haven't we? I mean, they finished 30 points ahead of us last season. Clearly a much better team than us last season, but there's a Rizzler between us now, isn't there? Like you said, they won the game, but we should have won the game, and we should have won the game at Boundary Park as well. We should have taken 6 points off them. We missed a load of sitters at that game, so they've just been our bogey team this season.
Yeah, I totally agree with Mellon. I think his mood was exactly right. He didn't know how we'd lost the game, and I think I concur with that. Whether things could have been all these people on Twitter and stuff saying that he doesn't know what he's doing, he's a dinosaur, that sort of thing, is total rubbish. He really understands the game. I mean, he's a football genius, the man. He is.
My cousin Will says. My cousin says. After Wembley, my cousin says, Mickey Mellon is a football genius, and I'm not taking any questions.
Absolutely, he is. I mean,
I listened to the
promotions has he got now?
I listened to. Oh, well, yeah, it's true. I mean, he's got 7 promotions, is it? I mean, I was listening to the commentary on from Barnet yesterday, and I think they had a current player who was injured or something doing the second commentary, and full of praise for Mickey Mellon, as a manager and as a guy, a top bloke and all that kind of stuff. I don't know who the player was. I don't know what experience he has of working with him and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, he knows a lot more about football than the people on Twitter. And the thing is, with
Yes,
these the thing is with the and also my present company, I'm not, he's head and shoulders above us in his knowledge of the game. And I think the thing is with hypotheticals is, you should have done this or you shouldn't have done that. It's all very well. That's assuming that your hypothesis plays out. You know what I mean? Like, it only works in the situation where this would have happened and this would have happened and this would have happened and that wouldn't have happened. That's all hypothetical. It's like we don't know. In theory, yeah, it's part of why it makes talking about it so interesting and fun. Is that you take your hypotheticals to their logical conclusion. It's never your planned substitution or failed substitution would have actually. It's whatever. We're all making it up. So we have to deal with the facts, don't we? We have to deal with what actually happened. And I think Drummond was still a bit of a threat to them out on the right hand side, because I'm pretty sure we got the red card came when he was moved out to the right hand side. But I think overall yesterday, I'm not going away disappointed. I'm disappointed in the result. I'm disappointed with how we lost it, but I'm not disappointed with the overall performance of the side. I think that's probably a fair assessment.
Yeah, From a team like you said that finished 30 points in front of us and we're away from home. It was a reasonable performance. We played all right.
We're the fire experts, fire safety experts at Pendle New Tech. We train fire marshals, fire safety marshals at Pendle New Tech. Pendle New Tech have fire experts across the UK covering all your local and national needs. With over 100 years experience in the fire safety industry, you know that you can trust Pendle New Tech. Right, enough of that now.
And you, like I said, you come away pretty. We're walking out, obviously. When you get, sorry, Will, go on.
People have been. People were saying earlier in the season when we were pretty defensive and not totally lacking endeavour, but just more guarded about attacking football. Earlier in the season, they were crying out, saying, "Oh, I just want us to have a go." Well, we had a go.
Yeah.
Yesterday,
we did have a go. Yeah.
Short, so
we did have a go.
So that's what a lot of people have been asking for from this side, and it will end up with them winning 3-2 sometimes.
Yeah,
whoever it is.
Well, when I was walking out, my lad was absolutely good. My eldest lad was absolutely gutted when they scored. Absolutely, he was like on the edge of tears. He was absolutely, furious with it. So I'm trying to calm him down, and we're walking out. He's high five Frank Rothwell on the way in and the way out because he was stood on our row. As we walk down the stairs, obviously the Barnet fans are coming towards us from the side, and the Barnet fans are jeering and shouting. And my lad sort of walks towards the barrier and starts having a go back at him. Just starts shouting, "Get off, Barnet! You rubbish! You should have been." He's thrown his ass. 8-year-old. I had to get hold of him. And pull him back, and I put my arm around him and went, "Mate, come on, doesn't matter. Just game of football. Don't get it." And then I've got people behind me going, "Andy, leave him alone." You wanted him to be involved, didn't you? He is leaving. Let him have a go at him. It's really funny.
It's great though. I mean, I haven't got any kids, but I do go with my nephews come along with us, and it's great when you see it flip. Like, because the boys were at Wembley and they were crying their eyes out when Southend scored, and the emotional roller coaster that they went on, and that was a bit of an exception, I guess, because it was Wembley and everything. But like the other week when we got that penalty against in the last minute against Chesterfield, and Garner missed it, but like in the build up to it, Tino, the youngest, he's 7. He's got to that point now where he was the same. He was just like he kind of lost control of himself, and he's just shouting, he's screaming, and he's at the defender for the foul, and he's just like, but the emotion is just, it's fully there, and there's like, it's not just being upset now at defeat, it's kind of being frustrated and a bit more angry, and you can just see that transition into like becoming a lifelong football fan where you feel everything over the 90 minutes and it's great to see, and it's great that we've got kids now that are have more to look forward to than than we've had for the last
Well,
30 odd years, you know.
Yes.
The other thing he's taken to do, Mel, is like he's got a little device with him, you know, like a tablet, and every now and again he watches the whole game. Now he's totally into it. It's great to watch. Every now and again he'll just get his tablet out and film like a 2-minute passage of the game. Likes to film a little bit, and then he watches it back on the trainer. He happened to film their first goal. Right, so he's got it out. He's just filming. They score, and I turned down to look at him, and he's furiously deleting it. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" Because I'm deleting that. I don't want that. It's great, absolutely great. Yeah. I've absolutely got him on the hook. It's brilliant.
Yeah, no, it's good. So there's lots to look forward to. I think yesterday's, like we said, it was a good, you know, and I will take as well being entertained. I don't expect us to win every game. I know we're not going to win every game. If you'd have offered me a 7-1 defeat in 7 in the, you know, Christmas New Year, first defeat 2026 at the end of Jan, I'd have been delighted. Like, you know, so yeah, I'm frustrated. Watching it yesterday was hard work because it was a sickener when that goal went in, but it was an entertaining game, football. We played our part in that. We played some good stuff. There was some brain farts. It was just one of those games. It was a League Two, a decent League Two game of football to watch, and that's part and parcel of it is just being entertained. Now Barrow on Tuesday night can be an absolutely horrible, disgusting, and probably will be game of attrition football. But if we win it 1-0, I'll be absolutely delighted again. So, you know, going into that game, do you think he had one eye on Tuesday, maybe with some of his substitutions? The likes of Drummond is probably going to start again against Barrow.
I don't know. I take Mickey Mellon at his word. I think there was the busy Christmas period when we had 4 games in 10 days or something like that. It didn't turn out that way, but that was the schedule. I think Mickey Mellon picked the side for the first of those games with an eye on Walsall away. I think he but out with a program like we had over Christmas. I think Mickey Mellon really does, as he says, he picks the players that are going to win him this particular game of football. So I don't think he looks ahead 2 games and thinks, you know, if I play these players tonight, then I can give such and such a rest, and he'll come back on Saturday. I don't anticipate any. I think he'll start with the same 11.
Yeah, I think he's going to go to Barrow to win the game. You know, they're below us in that they've not had a very good run. And they're there for the taking, but then so we're Crawley, and then we've got experience, haven't we, of not turning teams over. But I mean, I'll be very happy with a return of 3 points from these 2 away games if we can beat Barrow on Tuesday night. So I'm glad the games are back, because we've had to wait a bit, haven't we? We've had to, you know, hang around waiting for the games, and now we've got 3 in a week, which is really good. A tough game against Cambridge on Saturday. So, but yeah, I mean, on the whole, like, there's not really anything to complain about, is there? But, you know, feel free to complain on behalf of those out there. That
I'll tell you what, right? I don't have any complaints, and I wouldn't, you know. I think Mellon in his interview there was pretty much spot on. Couldn't argue with any of it. I might not have said slit their throat. I thought that was a bit too vivid for my taste. But excuse me. But one of the things that did anyone like get on the rumor mill yesterday about what's happened with the rugby?
Yeah. Should we chat about that for a minute?
I think a couple of absolute crackers.
Well, do you want to? I mean, I guess we have to be a wee bit careful here with repeating just salacious rumor, right?
I guess the way to frame it would be we're talking about how rumors take hold rather than with this particular example, which I don't think is true anyway. Like, well, we can't say it's true. No reason whatsoever to believe that it is true. And the rumor was, and I heard it from 2 separate people, is that there was a meeting between the two club hierarchies, the chief executives or whatever. A chair was thrown in the direction of Darren Royal. I'll just say, but this I keep saying it. It is just an absolutely bananas rumor. I'm only reiterating this because it is a bananas rumor. It was on it was on phone messages, and people were saying it, and it kind of grew throughout the day. It was they'd had a falling out, and then later on it was a chair was thrown, and later on it was something else again, and I just thought it was an absolutely brilliant example of how a terrace whispers, I'll call it. Where it just sort of escalated.
Well, what do we know, Andy? What are the facts?
Okay, so there is this. Well, we know that it has been reported firstly in it's the rugby paper. It's called, is it Love Rugby League? It's been reported in there by a journalist that somebody has been banned. So the somebody is suggested to be Bill Quinn, who's the chairman of Roughy Heads. He's been banned from Boundary Park for 12 months. It doesn't say why. There is some suggestion that there are some potential financial difficulties or some issues to be ironed out. And we know that Roughy Heads are seemingly playing their games at Bowerfold for the foreseeable future. We've also had a club statement from Roughy Heads themselves, where Bill Quinn is refuting any allegations, such as the one that Will has suggested, where there may well have been a disagreement in a meeting between the boards of the two companies.
With a Key and Harrod style resolution.
Yeah,
allegedly.
That's what makes it. That's what
allegedly.
That's one of the things that makes the rumor really, really suspicious. Is that it happens to be that that is the same mode of violence, if you like, in the rumor as has already been seen.
It's been some time since I've had a reason to go digging around on Company's House and the such like, just to have a bit of a background check, right? It's been quite some time. It's been nice not to have to do it, quite honestly. But I thought on the basis of this, I'd have a little look just to see what I could dig up. So you can find relatively easily Bill Quinn's business interests on the internet. It's much easier than in the Abdallah days, because everything obviously was registered abroad. In this instance, everything's registered on Company's House. And you can find that Bill Quinn is presently a director of, I think, 6 different businesses. So he's got 6 appointments. Businesses like Total Control Demolition Services, Total Energy Supply Limited, as well as the Rugby League, Oldham Rugby League, the Trust, and a company called Watersheddings Rugby Limited as well. So he's got some appointments. He has a whole host of history of previous appointments, where you can find probably another 12 to 14 different businesses potentially that he's been involved in the past. 2 different accounts, but you can find them. So you can have a look at these businesses. What you can then do is search upon what the history of those is and just have a little look. Now, the thing that I did find somewhat alarming, if I'm honest, was I could find against one of the businesses that's a present live company appointment, Total Control Demolition Services. That company has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 winding up petitions against it in the last 6-7 years. The most recent one, Lee Scaffolding and Access Limited versus Total Control Demolition Services, was in May 2025.
Right.
Previous one to that, May 2023, and so forth. Now, all of these, when you look at them, appear to be settled at some stage. And then you probably got to ask yourself, what are they about? Now, normally when a company issues a winding up petition against another company, it's because of debt or money owed. And then there may be a settlement afterwards that pays in part or full any debt owed. So That doesn't look good to me. Just to give you an idea, right? I decided to have a little nose. If you look up Oldham Athletic 2004 Limited, right? Latics have had, I don't know how many, nearly 20 winding up petitions, dating back as far as, this is against the 2004 Limited company, so the Three Amigos company, from 2016 until about 2020, it had like 16 winding up petitions. We haven't had a winding up petition since the Rothwells took over. Nada. Zilch. Zippo. None. Then you go and have a look at the Rothwells businesses. So look at Manchester Cabins, Bunker Bin, etc. Nothing. Clean. Right. So these are circumstantial bits of evidence, right? But if you piece these things together, any suggestion of a meeting where there may have been a disagreement, allegedly there may have been furniture brandished around in a meeting, it's probably due to monies owed, and those circumstantial pieces of evidence, I would suggest that monies owed probably goes in one direction, not the other.
Yes. Despite the claim, there is a claim by the rugby that Latics owe them money, and it obviously it's the other way around as well. So there's it's contested about who owes who what.
Well, yeah,
from the rugby's point of view.
From the rugby's point of view, yeah, Bill Quinn's, Latics have remained pretty tight-lipped on the affair. Ruffians have obviously released a statement saying that they believe they're owed money. But let's see what comes of that. But I mean, the other bits of sort of, if you think about how stable Latics has been run in the last 3-4 years. If you look at what's happened at Rougheads at the same period of time, I mean, they've fired managers, coaches. I believe if you look at, I don't know a lot about Rougheads. I'm not a rugby league fan, but if you have a nosy at what's going on there, they've got Mike Ford, who's like first team coach now, as well as managing director of rugby. That doesn't look like a structure that's particularly prosperous. Then I believe Rougheads were also looking to do like a winter tour where they played in Benidorm, and fans were going to go out and see them out in a sort of warm weather training over the winter. That was pulled at the last minute. There was that world record attempt thing. World record attempt that was a bit of a catastrophic failure, and which is alleged that people who bought tickets and whatnot have not received refunds and stuff like that, allegedly. So if you just start to piece together what you observe, you would say that Latics is pretty well run, and there's nothing circumstantial to suggest any issues there. You look at Yeds and looks a little bit of a basket case. So I don't know anything. I'm not party to any information. That's just what I managed to dig out. But yeah, for me, when you see a series of winding up petitions against a company, if you're about to go into,
it's a red flag.
It's a red flag. It's a red flag. Yeah, exactly.
Especially when I think especially when it's other companies. I think if you're sort of fending off the tax man like Oldham Athletic 2004 were for those years you mentioned, 2016 to 2022 or whatever, that's one thing. But when you're essentially, what it looks like when you have a habit of shorting other companies, is what company versus company winding up petitions say. Then. Yeah, if you were a businessman and Bill Quinn wanted you to provide services for an agreed price, you would look at that and think, "I'll have the money up front."
Exactly. If you the things you do if you're about to transact with a company, you do a credit check against them. You look at what cash they've got at the bank. You look at the P&L, and then you look at their history and see what's happened. Well, again, like I said before, against Bill Quinn's other companies, he's dissolved. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the dissolution of a company necessarily, because there could be very reasonable reasons for that. But he's dissolved a lot of companies historically. And when you look at some of those, they're like voluntary insolvency ones, which are predicated based on a charge that needs to be settled. And you're like, it just doesn't. I don't know anything about the gentleman particularly, other than what I've dug up.
from the broader sort of perspective of Latics getting granted money for the pitch, with the knock on that the rugby would be playing on it. They signed like a 10-year. They had a 10-year agreement recently put in place, wasn't there, in terms of the loan of the stadium and whatnot. Oldham Rugby has got a very, very checkered history in terms of its survival and what level it's playing at, after leaving Watershedings and playing at White Bank and wherever else. And if you think about Latics losing, I know it's different costs and whatnot, but Latics is having to have money pumped into it to keep it going. That the rugby can hardly be generating anything. I mean, it's very, very low attendances. They obviously the wages won't be the same, but there must be a need for the owners to pump money into the club, especially with the rate that they've accelerated. And it's often a bit of it's not a warning sign, but you have to be cautious sometimes, don't you, when a lot of money goes into a team and they've risen quite quickly like they have at Oldham Rugby. That money, where's it coming from and how long is it going to last for, and what resources do the owners of the club have to keep it going? And I think it would be a disaster for Oldham Rugby. I mean, how unless they can find somebody to come in and to buy it, but it's had so many knockbacks over the years. I don't think it can survive something which sees them not playing at Boundary Park now. I think that could be the final nail in the coffin for them if they're not careful.
Which is a real shame, right? Because the whole Sports Town project is based around having all sports a centre of excellence based on the site of Boundary Park. So nobody wants that outcome, and I'm sure it's a last resort thing for the Rothwells to be making the decision that any individual is not welcome at Boundary Park because of their behaviour. That may or may not be.
They wouldn't do something like that for no reason.
No, exactly. It must be something pretty serious for that to have happened and taken place straight away and then become public knowledge. So, it's very disappointing. But like I said, it's not anything that is a result of Latics. We don't think. Like you said, Andy, you put it into great context there. There's no black marks, on the record against the Rothwells and the businesses that they have, whereas Mr. Quinn, possibly a little bit more of a checkered history when it comes to businesses and whatnot. So it must be incredibly difficult to fund and keep a rugby club going like Oldham under the circumstances. Well, what we don't want this to be having a detrimental effect on what's happening at the football within the football club. Looking at some of the comments on socials, a lot of Latics fans are very unsympathetic towards rugby. Get lost, not asked. Don't want them, on the pitch and causing draining energy from the football project.
I worry about Sports Town as well, because you are going to have to bring all these. Latics is going to be the biggest partner in it, if you like, and it's going to have to deal with a lot of lesser partners. As a company, as an entity, Sports Town. So I think I'd like this sorted out. I really would.
You definitely want some
rugby at Latics.
You definitely want some resolution to it, and the other point is, yes, whilst the Ruffians might only be getting 1,500 fans in or whatever they're getting in, if they could try to be sustainable, get into Super League, that could be a great fillip for the town. And also Boundary Park is being used then, and there is income coming into the stadium. And that there will be a contract in place already that will stipulate exactly what revenue share there is on monies coming in. Yeds will get a certain amount. Latics will have to pay for the cost of the others. Some people have pointed out that there's no Ruffians merchandise in the club shop at the minute, where there has been before. So there appears to be some issues that need ironing out. But look, we all want it to get sorted out to benefit the town of Oldham, really. I don't think you can accuse. You look at everything that Frank's done recently. Frank is batting for the town, right? And he wants the whole Sports Town thing is for the town. So look, all I've shared is what I've found. Should we move on?
I actually had a word with Frank yesterday. He was in the bar at half time, and I went over to tug my forelock in his general direction after his recent investiture. He was saying that they didn't actually give him any food at Windsor Castle. They didn't give them anything. Like, they just sort of wheel you in, and then, you do the thing, and then they wheel you out again, and you have a few photographs in the grounds and whatnot. I think royalty should get their hands in their pockets and put some food on the table for people.
They're not. They're just ultimately the Royals are not as hospitable as we are in Oldham or at Boundary Park. So it's just
the Royals of Oldham are.
Yeah.
No, the royal family.
The Posho Royals.
Yeah, those ones. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame that I'd have expected better of the modern day Windsors. But
I wouldn't.
Cheap
But
as their forebears.
Well, I wouldn't expect better. But let's not go down that. Let's not go down that avenue. Just one second. I'm just going to pause the recording because I'm in the wrong studio, which means I can't play the Latics Mind music. So just bear with me.
Before we do that, should we?
So let's hope that everything rugby related and sports town related moves in the right direction, because the future of sport in Oldham is really important, and clearly that's something that the Rothros and the Royals are working, and the rest of other people at the club are working diligently towards. So let's hope that gets resolved.
Should we talk about transfer briefly
before we play Latics Mind?
What do you want to do, Will? Latics Mind or transfers?
Let's do transfers.
Yeah, I thought you might.
anything that isn't Latics Mind.
Okay.
Well, obviously we've shipped. So we were talking last week, weren't we, about from my perspective, wanting if we're not gonna realistically go up this year or have a chance to get a top 7. I don't think we are. And I think yesterday really probably demonstrated why. Let's blood some of the players that let's have a look at Hawke, Stevens, and then obviously we instantly ship Will Sutton out, which
yes,
I have to say I'm personally a little bit disappointed because I just don't know.
Yes,
I don't know whether I genuinely don't know whether Will Sutton is good enough or not, and he doesn't have enough of a stretch in the side for us to find out. So I find that a bit disappointing. And actually, I like Donovan Daniels and Manny Month as a pair, but Manny Month's contract situation, I heard someone say that Forest Green are after him in the week. That contract situation is yet to be resolved. And Donovan Daniels, he looked a bit scratchy at times yesterday, gave the ball away.
He didn't have the
few
best
minutes
games today.
Yeah.
No, that happens to everybody, but you'd have liked to have seen that. So we're not going to see Will Sutton between now and the end of the year. He has got another year in his contract. So that was a shame, I thought. But obviously, we've seen Kean Harrott go out, so we're not going to have a look at him either. He's also dropped down to National League. So his contract's up at the end of the year. One assumes, therefore, that's curtains for him. Then I guess the obvious other two that appear to be names on social media that we might be looking to move out are Kieran Morris, who really looks like a poor signing, doesn't he? And obviously Billy Waters, again, another one that was signed in a bit of a panic this time last year. He'll probably look to move on. So that leaves, I don't know, a space for one or two to come in. Mickey Mellon, of course, said in his interview with BBC yesterday that they've got an eye on. So they've got a goal scorer lined up, a finisher lined up. So that means there's a striker in hand. So we might see a little bit of movement.
Who do you think it is? Do you have any idea who it might be?
Well, there's loads of names knocking about. I think we're probably looking at loans. We're looking at loans from above us in the football pyramid. I quite like the look of Kane Taylor for 10 minutes yesterday. A nice, lovely little touch and a lay-in, didn't he? So
Lots of energy. Lots of energy.
Yeah. So hopefully we can do a little bit, but I'm expecting maybe potentially a couple more out and one or two in, and then we'll see where we go from there.
But no big money rumours, no first £1 million signing in however long, etc.
Well, we've never made £1 million signing.
Well, no, I was just going to say, no, we haven't actually, have we? I suppose it would have been over $1 million in today's money, but anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Ian Olney.
700 grand.
So, but that was, maybe one day. Do you think we'll ever sign a player for £1 million? I think we will.
But
I think we will because of inflation.
Yeah.
Well, If we ever pay £1 million for a footballer, then we have really come. We really are back, and we'd be, championship, top end of championship standards. So I don't think it's any time soon.
No, I don't either. Right, shall we play Latics Mine then, Will? The answer to that question is yes before you say no.
If I have to.
You do have to. Because, like we said before, it's not just about you, it's about everybody getting to play along at home. Are you ready, Andy?
All right, I'll tell you what. In that spirit, I am going to use the word pass this week. I'm not going to deliberate over any given question. I'm just going to fire back at you. So I'm going to try and achieve the record for number of questions asked in Latics Mind.
Okay. Well, that's all.
We've got enough in the bank.
Yeah. Right. Let's play Latics Mind.
Facts about facts.
Wrong button. That's just to try and throw you, that Will. Latics Mind is sponsored by Oldham Athletic Supporters Foundation, investing in the fans, the club, and the community. Join today at oasf.co.uk for just £12 a year. OASF, because we're stronger together.
What was Latics' only Boxing Day away win of the 1990s?
Pass.
Who was Latics' top scorer in both 2001-2002 and 2002-2003?
Steve Whitehead.
Wrong. It was David Ayres. Which former Latics defender had spells at clubs in the cities of Manchester, Birmingham, Liverpool and Sheffield?
Clint. No. Pass.
Andy Ritchie was Latics manager over 3 festive periods. How many times did Latics lose on Boxing Day during his tenure?
3.
None. Who beat Latics in the 4th round of the FA Cup in 1991?
Bolton.
Wrong, it was Notts County. Who scored his first goal on Boxing Day 2005?
Pass.
Which famous game in Latics history followed this scoring pattern? 1-0, 1-2, 2-2, 2-3, 3-3.
FA Cup semi-final 1990.
Correct. Who beat Latics in the 4th round of the FA Cup in 1996?
Burton Albion.
Wrong, it was Swindon Town. Who was Latics' first ever live Premier League game? Start, so finish. Who was Latics' first ever live Premier League game on Sky TV against?
Man United.
Wrong, is Everton. 1.
Oh well, it's the half of the expected points. I'm really tough with that because I got 1.
You got 1. Yeah, I thought you'd got that last one. Yeah, I thought you got the last one. So, got a few passes. What was Latics' only Boxing Day win of the 1990s, Matt? Any idea?
I'm trying to think of who we might 1990s.
It was towards the end of the decade, if that helps.
Not really. I don't know. Rotherham.
We won 3-1 at Chesterfield in 1998.
Right.
Which former Latics defender had spells at clubs in the cities of Manchester, Birmingham, Liverpool and Sheffield?
I wanted to say Clint Hill, but it's not, is it?
Clint Hill played for Tranmere, so would that be in the city of Liverpool? Nope.
No.
Exactly. So City, Liverpool. So played for Liverpool or Everton. Played for City or United. Played for Birmingham or Aston Villa, and played for one of the Sheffield clubs.
I don't know.
Earl Barrett.
Earl
No.
Barrett. Correct. Earl Barrett.
Oh, no, nice.
Aston Villa,
Get involved.
Everton,
Yeah.
both Sheffield clubs, I think. Yeah. And City. Who scored his first Latics goal on Boxing Day 2005?
Les Pogliacomi.
It was Richard Butcher.
Never would have got that in a million
God rest his
years.
soul.
Well, one is not a zero, so that'll do
No,
you.
it's
Yeah.
not too bad.
Honestly, I'm a cock a hoop about that. Cock a hoop.
And then you managed to get Earl Barrett as well. Second time of asking. It's just the
Yeah,
pressure,
that's
isn't it?
sort of
You
one and a
see.
half, isn't it? It's 1.5.
Yeah. What's His
Oh,
Mind is sponsored. Oh, sorry. It's absolute pig's ear, isn't it? Well, it's Sunday morning. I'm tired. I had a late night. We're doing all right. We're doing okay. I don't think expectations are too high. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep turning up. Keep the points ticking over. That's what we do on. That's what we do on this every week, isn't it? The Boundary Park Alert System is sponsored by Pendle New Tech, a family-run Lancashire business you can rely on for everything fire safety related, including supply and installation, maintenance, testing, certification, alarms, risk assessments. Like I said, anything fire safety related. But what do I know? Visit pendle-nu-tech.com and they'll sort you right out. Check the show notes for more information. I'm a bit still like this about Barra. It's like a 2-hour drive up to Barra Tuesday night.
It's just schlepping it up there.
Yeah,
Check the weather. I'd check the weather. I'd go on
January.
Like if it's raining, like it's going to be a much harder drive than if it's
a
clear.
crappy ground. It's cold. I'm not selling it to myself, but at the same time, I'll know that come Tuesday afternoon, I'll be like, if I've not gone, I'll be like, no, I wish I'd have gone Barra. So I don't know. I haven't decided yet. It's well out of your sphere of influence, isn't it, lads?
Absolutely.
Not a chance that I'm travelling from
No
Tuesday
way.
to Barrow on a Tuesday night. No.
No. And to be fair, I don't think anyone can question your commitment by not doing.
I mean, we went to Barnet yesterday, and that's a schlep in London. God, it's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's practically. I don't think it is actually London. I want to draw a boundary of London that just excludes the Hive. I don't think it's in London.
It's a bit of a pain to get to, yeah. But
yeah.
And for credit, what was the away following yesterday? The official number? Has anyone seen it?
I haven't seen the official number, but somebody said 500.
Yeah, it was a good turnout anyway, considering a 12:30 game. And I think if you made the trip down from anywhere outside, particularly of London, then fair play. Especially if you're then planning on going up to Barrow on Tuesday night, and I'm sure there'll be plenty who do that, who make both trips.
Yeah,
I think we've got to go for a win on Tuesday night against Barrow, and I think again this whole last 8 games can be viewed as an overwhelming success. So let's hope that the disappointment of yesterday, the way we lost the game, acts as a catalyst for a good performance and a win, because that's the way it tends to go. I mean, I don't lose the game yesterday and then worry about Tuesday. Not with the spirit of the lads that are in the team. I think we've got a good attitude. I think they'll be disappointed by the way they lost the game, and I think they'll want to make amends. So let's hope that that we can. Stevens being back is a massive bonus.
Yes, very good player.
Yeah, he's had one chance yesterday and he's tucked it away really nicely. So and good to get another positive is 2 midfielders scored yesterday for Latics. We lost the game, but that's what we want to see. Goals from open play, good goals as well, both good goals. So I think we'll see on the phone on Thursday what the mood is, whether we manage to pick up 3 points at Barrow or not. But I'm confident. I was confident yesterday, but alas.
Well, I'm going to pat myself on the back about yesterday because I think it was my nephew who said, "Oh, I bet it's going to be 0-0," and I said, "No, this has got 3-3 written all over it." And I was very closer than I normally am with my predictions.
Yeah, it was an entertaining game. If you look
Really
at the next
good
two games, Barrow's form is last 6, won 1, lost 5. And
Yeah.
Cambridge's form over the last 6 is 1, 5, drawn 1.
Yeah.
So we've
Right.
got two teams right at different end of the spectrum here.
Yeah.
Cambridge will be so
Yeah.
I think Cambridge are 12 unbeaten, actually. This is going to be a tough test.
Right.
Yeah. So
Well,
I mean,
we've beaten them already this season, like, so I fancy us in that game.
yeah, I think we've got to be going to Barrow and picking up the points based on
Yeah.
the form that they're in. I mean, they've barely got a green tick between them down from Tranmere down. You know, they're all struggling. Looks like Harrogate are the ones who are really struggling. But yeah, we obviously dropped down a bit. Barnet got away from us. Now we've got Barnet and Gillingham 3 points ahead of us. So a win on Tuesday keeps things interesting, keeps us in the mixer. But yeah, until it's not possible, I'm going to keep looking towards the playoffs as the aim of the season.
Yep.
You know, until it's
Yep.
mathematically not possible.
Well, I'm
anymore.
very much looking forward because, like Andy, I was very disappointed with Sutton going out on loan. Not surprised about Harrop. Pleased that we're making manoeuvres to try and get a striker in, and I can't wait to see who it is.
Well, I wouldn't be hoping for a marquee name. That's what I will say. It's more likely to be a loan from a team above us than any big name coming in, I think.
Yeah.
And let's hope in the meantime that the strikers we do have can find the net for us on Tuesday night. Anyone got any other business? Anything else that they need to get off their chest? Or
no, I think we're done, aren't we?
No, I think we've been. I was pleased to talk about we got to talk about the rugby because I think the whole sports town thing should be on all our agendas. We have to keep an eye on it because we all hope it succeeds. So
yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. How is discipline amongst Oasis? Will is everyone behaving themselves? Have you had to pull anyone in and have a quiet word, or you know?
I haven't actually. The membership is growing as well. There's more than 100 people in the WhatsApp group, and I picked up another couple of numbers yesterday. There was one young lad who I was traveling on the tube with, and he knew who I was, and I didn't know who he was. But he's I'm going to put him in the WhatsApp group today. I don't know his name, but I do have his number, and he's studying musical theatre at the Conservatoire down in Woking. So, like, potential celebrity.
Musical
Oasis
theatre.
member.
I mean, listen, this is music to my ears. You need to get him in touch because the Latics Football Phone-in, the musical, has been something that we've had aspirations for a long time. So it's that's the phone-in, not the podcast, Andy. I won't drag you into anything musical theatre, but I can definitely get Dave in a pair of hot pants or whatever is needed. So that's fine. So have you got a youth arm of Oasis? Will, are you priming?
No, because it's
grooming for the future, or is it all just
the WhatsApp group is very much adults only? I think there's a bit of effing and jeffing in there that I wouldn't want to expose any children.
Well,
to.
I mean, when I say the youth wing, I'm talking like the 18 and above. The future leaders. Have you set up a future leaders program for Oasis? Well, no,
I haven't, because I. Being a sort of old school third world dictator type president, there is no succession plan.
No,
there is nobody on the horizon.
Are you going to?
If there ever is, I make sure to banish them. So
well, unless of course long lost sons of Will turn up later. That children that he has sired just for the role. Men that he has sired just for the role come in and take over. So, yeah. Well, listen, as long as the only dictatorships we've got are in Oasis, and let that look after itself. As long as everything, the club is running in a much more democratic and modern fashion, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Nice to talk to you, Will.
Nice to talk to you as well, Matt. And you, Andy.
I still think of that hug at Wembley.
Oh, that was a special moment. That was
special moment.
Very special moment.
Very lovely moment. Yeah.
I just started breathing again at that point.
Yeah, marvelous. Right, well, here's to more special moments, lads. Thanks for joining me this Sunday morning, and thanks for listening. We'll see you all soon. Hey Dave, did you know that listeners can now buy us a coffee or any other kind of hot beverage?
Ooh.
What's your favourite hot beverage, Dave?
A macchiato.
And how do you like your macchiato?
Black with lots of milk. Oh.
No cream?
No.
Well, if you want to buy Dave a
macchiato,
then go to buymeacoffee.com/We Are Oldham. I'll just have a Nescafe.
Ooh. Thank you, listeners.